Welcome to the 5th International Conference on Code Quality, which we call ICCQ'25. We organized this event for 5 years straight with the same persistent, and I would say even immutable objective. With the limited resources, we want to build a computer science venue of small size by the quality of organization and the quality of papers which we publish comparable to large events in our domain, which we definitely look up to. And it's a challenging objective. Let's put it simply, it's difficult to get there, but we are getting better and better every year. And I will explain you now why it's challenging and why do I think that we're getting better every year. So let me tell you how it was the organization this year, what needed to be done in order to get where we are right now. First, we needed to find a hosting university, a place which becomes a sponsor of the university. And every year we try to find a new one. It's a new university every year. And this time we were lucky to meet Ural Federal University, who agreed to share our objective, who agreed to host the conference. And we have to say thanks a lot to them because they not only agreed to host us, but they actively helped us to organize the conference and communicate with IEEE. The second challenge was about assembling a program committee. That's not an easy task to do, and again, every year we are trying to do it to set up a different list of program committee members, because this is the principle of the conference. We want program committee members to stay with us no longer than 2 years in a row, which is a principle in many, again, large conferences, in order to assure that we have no personal attachment to the conference, to the papers we review. This year, we managed to put together a beautiful program committee, a brilliant program committee, which includes this year actually 2 ACM fellows and other reputable researchers and scientists in our domain. Without these people, we would not be able to have a conference because they actually provided the core feature, the core service of the conference. They did the review of papers which we collected from different authors. And without them, we would not be able to select the best papers. And the authors would not be able to get a proper feedback from the conference. They would not feel any value from us. Program committee is the core value provider. We are super grateful to them for joining us and for volunteering in this service, because this is done on their free time, and nobody compensates them for this work except their universities and their companies where they work. It's their community service, I would say. The challenge number 3, which we went through, is convincing IEEE that they need to give their support to us. We have to do it every year. It's not that they supported us last year, it means that they're going to support the conference every next year. No, every time we need to apply for the support, we need to explain why these conferences deserve to be in their list of conferences, why they need to provide us the ability to publish the best papers on their resources and on their expenses. That took a lot of time this year because of the complexities of this process, which increases every year, fortunately or unfortunately. But we went through it. Again, our hosting university, Ural Federal University, they helped us a lot in this process. And of course, we have to say thank you to the Siberian section of IEEE. Without them, it would not be possible. They understood our conference objectives, they studied the materials, they helped us to supply all the materials to IEEE, and then we got the permission from IEEE to organize the conference. That was also not so easy. Then, of course, the papers. We needed to collect the papers from their authors. That's a question of marketing, the question of the advertisements of the conference, and we did that. We promoted our event in different news lists and in different computer science places for the promotion of such events, and it did work. It did work because this year we collected 39 papers, which is, comparing to all previous years, is the record number. It's the biggest number of papers which we managed to collect in one conference, 39. Again, it's incomparable to large conferences, but take into account that our event is a small event. We only accept just a few papers. This year, we accepted only 4 papers. So it means that out of 39 papers, only 4 were accepted. That means their acceptance rate is quite low. That is, in our understanding, some sort of a guarantee or a success factor or a contributing factor to the quality of papers by definition. The more papers we reject objectively, providing the proper feedback, the better conference we can have, because the papers which are published actually are of a decent quality. So we did a good marketing, good promotion this year, the record number of papers, thanks to everybody who submitted their papers. Not only to the authors who were accepted, but to everybody, because everyone who sent us their materials got a feedback from us. Some papers were desk rejected. It happens when the paper is not properly formatted or incomplete. Then these authors, they got a quick feedback and short response. But papers who actually went through the proper review process, they got decent reviews with proper comments, suggestions for improvements, and even if they were not accepted, their authors were should be able to go to other places with improved versions of their papers, and that was a contribution from us, from our program committee, to you, the author, even if you were not accepted. So we have to say thanks a lot to these people who considered us as a publication venue for their work. And finally, of course, it was a challenge for us to do the proper review, to do the objective selection of the best papers. It's a challenge for every conference. Every time and every conference has questions and has challenges of how to select the papers and how to reject them. It's not about how to select, it's more about how to reject, who you should reject and why you should reject, and whether we have enough reasons to reject what we reject. That's the biggest question we ask ourselves and we ask program committee. Do we have enough reasons? Do we have enough proof to say no to this or that paper? This year, I believe we had enough reasons to say no, and of course, we had enough reasons to say yes to those 4 papers which were actually accepted and which will be presented to you today in 4 consecutive presentations, 30 minutes each. And I have to say thank you to all the authors who were accepted for their work, for their good work actually on writing these papers, on actually doing research, because as you know, the paper is a final step in the research which authors are doing.